Hey guys, welcome back to an interesting video on Wild Rift. So today we're back with a Corki Supplementary guide, taking a look at the top ranked builds for Corki. Now a lot of people are at the top ranked Corkis are taking this build. Now I have to say I'm not quite a fan of it. I will talk a little bit more about why later, but I will also talk about why this build is actually good. So let's jump straight into it, starting off with the loadout. So first item you want to go run rush is Mana Mune. Now Mana Mune of course is going to kind of resolve your mana issues as well as giving you extra AD, and of course when you evolve it to mirror mana, extra damage on both your auto attacks as well as your spells. Really good on Corki of course, because he does use a lot of abilities, especially his ulti. Then we go for the Gluttonous Grease for the AD as well as the Omni Vamp, because Corki does mix damage, so Omni Vamp really good here. Triforce is going to give you the extra health as well as all of the good stats, and the most important part, the Spellblade passive, which you will be able to proc very easily because we are a spellcaster. And then here is the interesting part. So first item we go for is Magnetic Blaster. Now, I think that Magnetic Blaster is okay on Corki. It's great as an item on Corki. You will be able to, of course, get that extra long range attack, which is going to help you with your poke overall. Also get attack speed, which is really useful, I realize, in some fights where you do auto attack quite a bit. So this is a pretty good item on Corki. But the two items that I don't like on Corki are the next two, which is Bloodthirster and Maul Reminder. So Bloodthirster gives you a bunch of AD, gives you physical vamp as well as additional AD and attack speed. Now the thing is, about this item, it gives you the most AD out of any item when you're high on health, that is, because it gives you like a total of like 50 plus. At this point in the game it's going to be almost 25, so it's going to give you about 75 AD, which is the most you can get from a single item. But the thing about this item is the 12% physical vamp is not useful on Corki, because remember, Corki does 80% magic damage and only 20% physical damage, which basically means that the 12% physical vamp is wasted, which is the same logic as Maul Reminder next. It's going to give you Armor Pen as well as Grievous Wounds, but you're not actually going to make use of the Armor Pen because you do magic damage, so only 20% of the damage is going to be relevant for the Armor Pen. So I feel that this is kind of really wasted for these two items. I would even think that it'll be probably better to go for IE like instead of Bloodthirster here, and probably go for either another crit item to get more value from IE here. Let's say a Slurry Charge Blade, for example, or some other kind of crit item. What else do we have in terms of crit items? Yeah, maybe like an Essence Reaver, and IE or something like that, or maybe a shield bow will be good as well. And I think Chainsword is going to be better instead of Maul Reminder, but I can see the logic here. Like the AD from Bloodthirster is the most. I can see the logic here, and yeah, I kind of get where they're going with this. I'm just not too big of a fan personally. So for the runes we go for Conqueror, of course, because actually not of course, but you can also go for First Strike if you want the burst damage, but I think Conqueror is more better with this build because you're in more long drawn out fights. Especially going for a crit build that's less focused on burst. So there is that. Of course, Brutal because you auto attack quite a bit. Giant Slayer, most value in the slot, as well as Alacrity to auto attack more. Here, of course, you have your Bone Plating, and of course, you go for Exhaust and Flash as your runes. But now let's take a look at our gameplay. Okay, so now we're gonna hop onto the gameplay, and we're gonna show a good example of how this build really works. We get quite far into the build because the gameplay is pretty long. But yeah, so of course Corki can be played both mid and bot. When you're playing him mid, he is just a very strong AP damage source as well, and he is my kind of default champion I play when I get auto-filled to mid lane. When you play him as an ADC, of course it's only with a team comp that kind of has really low AP or no AP. Like in this case we have pretty much no AP in my entire team, so I'm really the only AP source here. Here Thresh walks up to try to flame me, but he walks up so far that he's taking all the minion aggro and just taking a beating. You can see he basically loses half of his health, so not really a good idea by him. With Corki, you generally prefer to be with an engager because you have a lot of skill shots to land, like your Q, your ultis, also your E. When someone is locked down, you can get a free E onto them to shred their defenses. So he works a lot better with an engager like Leona here. So here, Corki's laning phase is relatively straightforward. You just want to try to land poke like what you saw I just did on the Lucian. Post level 5, you want to try to land rockets as well as Qs. So pretty straightforward lane. Corki, very poke focused lane. Although you can of course all in, as I said, you do work well with Engager. So generally how it goes is you poke them down to a decent amount of health, Engager goes in, and you can just blast them into next week. So here Lucian is of course kind of just shoving in non-stop. He does have a lot better wave clear than me because he can just queue the entire wave and just pick up the wave in that way. So I'm just picking up minions under tower. Here Thresh comes in with a flay again. I'm gonna pop the E and shred him. Unfortunately, Amumu comes in for a gank. I realize that I'm probably gonna die, so I go in for the trade 1-for-1 with Thresh. Sorry. So we do pick up the kill there, and here we do respawn. Probably should have panned to the fight there instead of just looking at me respawn, but Wukong kind of overcommits and ends up dying as well. So not really the best situation here. Wukong dies, Amumu gets a kill, Lucian has an early kill. The good news here though is that I actually picked up a kill as well. Although the issue is Lucian is very strong early game, whereas Corki isn't, because you do have to build your mana mune first, and mana mune is a really horrible power spike. It's no power spike at all, to be honest. You need to wait for the mirror mana to power spike, which is why you have such a huge power spike when you hit mirror mana Triforce, but you have such a weak power spike when you hit mana mune, because mana mune doesn't really do very much. It's really poor stats and just really not too good. It's only really gold efficient when you evolve it to mirror mana, because you get a lot of stats for very little gold. But of course the trade-off is, number one, you have to stack it up, and number two, you basically have a non-existent one item power spike. So here we finally tick over to level 5. Thresh is not in lane, he's clearing out the wards. Now he's finally making it here, and we have a slow build wave to work with, so they can't really fight us because the minion wave is pretty huge. Proccing Lucian's bone plating right here, and landing just a little bit of poke onto him. Like, rockets don't really do that much damage yet because we don't really have items, so we're just chipping away just little bit by little bit. Leona tries to find an engage but doesn't really hit anything. We can see there's a control ward in their bush, so we can try to clear that if we get an opportunity. Now, however, we are just going to back, or rather bait, sorry, not back. We're going to bait using the back, and it does work because Wukong was actually hiding in the bush there, and this baits Thresh to actually go in, thinking I had a greedy back. Now, this back bait is really kind of funny because I fall for this all the time as well. I'd be like, this guy is trolling, why is he backing at that position? We have to punish, and when we go for it, we actually get baited and we get punished instead. So I knew that this was most likely gonna work. I just backed there like an idiot, or what seems to be like an idiot, and Thresh is thinking like, no way this guy is backing her right in front of my face. I'm gonna have to walk up to punish him. Wukong hops in with the engage, and we get a kill onto the Thresh. Now even I, like, this gameplay I played was a while ago, because I haven't had time to really record the video. I kind of forgot what happened in the gameplay at this point, but yeah, even I forgot that there was a bait. Only when I saw Wukong, I was like, alright, this was the back bait. I don't really do the back bait very often. I actually almost never do it because it is pretty dangerous to do, because you have to trust your jungler that they are going to be there to back you up. If not, you're just really going to be an idiot and really going to just get caught. And sometimes junglers just play you out. They just like pretend that they're going to gank, and or rather not pretend, but they intend to gank, but they later on change their mind and think it's not a good gank, and then they just hang you out to dry and you just die like an actual idiot. So yeah, it doesn't always work. So it's not really a trick I pull off too often. Now here I have the package ready and available. Looks like we are going for the dragon here, so we are looking for a package opportunity. Here, speaking of package opportunity, I spot one in the top lane. Thresh and Lucian super duper overextended. I'm going to go in with the package, cut off the Thresh's escape here, and Amumu actually goes over the package to engage himself. I'm just trying to back away because I know he still has ulti. Actually, he doesn't have ulti according to the replay tool, but in the game I thought that he had ulti. So I was just backing away to prevent myself from getting ulted. Turns out he didn't even have it. He is getting it up right now though. So here, we end up having a casualty of Leona, and Amumu does have to back because he was like 1 HP. So we are going to start off the dragon, and we should be able to pick it up before he reaches here most likely. Thresh tries to hook into the pit, doesn't really hit anything, and Amumu here tries to to engage. Here I'm just waiting over the wall, catching out the Amumu, dashing over, shredding his defenses. Ult comes in from Amumu, but he's in the middle of 4 people with no backup from his team, so he's not going to survive. He, takes a death. And now I'm just going to quickly get this mid lane minions and back while my team is busy skirmishing just a little bit in front of me. So here we pick up the Gluttonous Greaves together with the Sheen, and here we can start to do a little bit more damage because with the AD from the boots as well as the Sheen passive, we can start to put in some work. As I said, Mana Mune's kind of useless before you evolve it. It doesn't really do very much at all. So unfortunately here Lucian pretty much gets all of the plates at this point, and he's also 2-0 up. So we definitely are scared of him. He can probably kill us pretty easily. So we don't really want to mess with him unless we poked him down a significant amount. So here we clear the waves and we're trying to go for plates of our own. Hopefully, we can get a couple of plates in. Unfortunately, Lucian is back, so all we can get is 1 plate, and we're gonna have to kind of just back off. So here you can, speaking of which, you can see he's doing a lot of damage to me. Like just one short combo is like half my health, which is not the most surprising. I play Lucian myself. I do think he is pretty strong, does a bunch of damage. And I'm gonna have to pop the fruit. So here I'm trying to get some poke on him. Doesn't quite work out, so I'm gonna try to clear the minions instead. I am landing a little bit of rockets, but without the Mana Mune evolved, it doesn't really do damage. I have the big one loaded up, and I can see him in the bush. He's just waiting there. I hit the big one onto him, which actually does do a lot of damage here. Run out of rockets though. So here he dashes in, goes for the culling. I realize I have to flash, and he flashes to follow, and I do end up dying. Yeah, that was honestly kind of predictable, honestly, but I got a bit greedy for the wave, which I shouldn't have, because as a Lucian, I would have gone for that kill too. So I definitely should not have, stuck around to be, in Lucian's kill range. And yeah, so we do take a death, unfortunately. Still waiting on our Mana Mune and Mirror Mana and our Triforce. Let's take a look at the fight happening in bot. Urgot takes a chunk of damage here. Wukong goes in with the Cyclone, gets completely smacked around. This is the old Wukong, by the way. This pre-Wukong rework. As I mentioned, this gameplay is from some time ago. Just haven't had time to record the video yet. And here we are back alive. So a lot of shenanigans happening on the opposite side of the map. In the meanwhile, I'm just farming up, trying to get to my Triforce. I'm relatively close, like more than halfway there at this point. Going to mid lane to pick up these minions. Culling comes in from Lucian to clear the wave, as well as get a little bit of damage onto me. Want to look to get a shutdown on this Lucian if possible. Of course, we can see Fizz waiting at the corner, so we do want to be a little bit cautious. Like Lucian has the most gold in the game, 9k gold, on the Lucian. Akshan is our most fed member. He has 8k gold. But Akshan nowadays goes for this wonky build. In my opinion, it's pretty wonky build of going for first 2 items, Collector and Charge Blade. Some people like to go Charge Blade, not Charge Blade, Blaster, Magnetic Blaster. So some people like to go Blaster into Collector. Some people like to go Collector into Blaster. I don't know. I think these are really weird first 2 items, for any ADC. But I guess it kind of works for Akshan. So there is that. I tried out this build as well, and I found it actually works pretty well, but I just think it's a little bit weird. So anyways, here I see a fight is probably gonna break out, so I'm actually picking up the package. Or maybe I can find a pick onto Urgot with the package. We get the movement speed from the package, and we're trying to actually get to him, but he's running away, so we're not gonna be able to actually reach. So instead, we spot a fight happening. It's Thresh, Lanterns, Urgot, and I get a huge package into the Wukong ultimate. Although not quite on top of the package, so not exactly working out, but we do get a few kills off of the 4-man Wukong ulti. Akshan is now chasing in, and Dragon is now spawning. Akshan picks up a triple kill, tanks a tower shot though, and here we clear out the wave. Now initially I wanted to back and go to Dragon, but I realized that with the whole enemy team dead, they're not gonna actually need me to do the Dragon. So Lucian there was just doing the Dragon. The Dragon is actually not at half HP because Lucian had done it. So he actually gives us a free leash, and seeing that my team doesn't need me, I'm going to instead get this bot lane tier 1 tower, which is going to knock down the enemy structure as well as to get more gold for myself and my team. So here we finally have, when I say finally, I meant like before that, that fight that we won. We actually have the 2-item power spike of Mirror Mana and Triforce, which is probably the reason why we actually did a lot of damage in that particular fight. You can see now we're actually doing damage. Like Corki is like, if you go for the Mana Immune Triforce build, really doesn't come online until you get Mirror Mana and Triforce. So this is really the point, like 10 minutes into the game, where we can finally actually be useful and finally actually do some meaningful damage. So this is where we can try to turn the game around for our team. I mean, honestly, the game was not going that bad for our team anyway. We are losing just a little bit by 3k gold. So yeah, so now let's see what happens next. Here we're just waiting for the next mid lane wave so we can farm it. Wukong kind of getting caught out a little bit. We are trying to help him a little bit just by landing a little bit of poke to dissuade the enemy team from engaging. Urgot actually goes in onto Leona on the other side, but he is really, really tanky. And I'm not really doing very much damage to him. He has a Kangpang Chainsword as well as a Sterix Gauge. So here Amumu goes in with a decent ulti. We do get a counter kill onto him though. So he dies for the engage. Urgot's now really low, but again, he's super tanky. Aatrox is going all the way in. Lucian kind of getting a little bit caught out of position there, has to dash away to the side. We get a Raptor Pit Ward to kind of check if any enemies are there. None actually are. So here we're just going to back off now. And continue on our farming. Aatrox takes the wave, so we're instead just going to take the Krugs here. And now we can back and or maybe back and get items. We see Thresh and Fizz pushing in the mid lane though, so we are going to try to stop them from getting the mid lane tower. Unfortunately though, the mid lane tower is secure. We do a decent amount of damage to the Fizz at this point, but we can't really chase him all the way, all the way in. So here we're running a little bit low on mana, so we do want to reset to get ourselves some mana as well as to possibly get item completion. There we go, we stuck around long enough to get enough gold to get the blaster. So we are on 3 items now, and of course with blaster we do have a lot more attack speed, which is allowing us to auto attack weave a lot more effectively, as well as to just straight up auto attack a lot more easily as well. So here just auto attacking a little bit to help out the Wukong to pick up the buff. We get the buff share. Thresh Lantern comes in to check for vision, and the whole enemy team is kind of at the Baron area, so we do want to get vision on Baron to check if they are doing it, because we do have vision of Urgot on the opposite side of the map, so they could really be doing it. Looks like they actually are. They actually picked up the Baron already. I actually back to pick up the package to try to come in for the fight with the package. My team is definitely starting the fight, and I'm trying to make it there as quickly as I can. I'm coming in with the package, but the fight kind of just stops right there, which is kind of a little bit sad, because it looks like package might be wasted. So here, they don't know I'm here still, so I'm trying to look for a flank with the package. Here I go in with the package flank, cutting off the escape of multiple enemies. Lucian is stepping on the package, and multiple people stepping on the package. Fizz dies. I die for the package engage, but I would say that it is worth it, because number one, Akshan just got a revive, but even without it, we remove, not remove, because you can't remove Baron from death anymore, but we kill 4 members of the enemy team, which prevents them from utilizing their Baron. So overall, I think that was a really good fight, really good move by me. Urgot trying to push with the sole remaining Baron on the map at the moment. His Sterix procs, and it's just a matter of time before he dies. He can't really escape, and we pick up the kill onto him. So clean ace here. In my opinion, off of that package play where we kind of cut the enemy team into 2 and allowed my team to go in with the engage. Here we pick up the stasis, so that the next time we find ourselves in a similar position, we can pop the stasis and hopefully survive afterwards. And this then gives us opportunity to try to rush Dragon. Now enemy team is slowly reviving. Fizz is actually alive. Control wards the pit. Amumu over the wall. This is going to be Dragon Soul for my team if we get it. Amumu goes in really, really early. We're focusing him down, and we actually get the, or Wukong gets the Dragon Soul. And Amumu dies for jumping in. Fizz is on 1 HP. And all of a sudden, off of a few bad plays from the enemy team, my team is kind of back in the game. It is Mountain Soul, not really the most valuable, but hey, Baron and nothing. And And yeah, we're in a pretty good solid spot now where we kind of clawed our way back into the game. Now I'm going to try to steal the enemy blue buff. Honestly, if Wukong came over, I would just give it to him, but he just walks away, so I'm just going to take the blue buff for myself. And I think I'm pretty close to an item, so I'm just going to go and grab the raptors here to try to get that. Now here I was going to bag, but he looks like Akshan's trying to get red buff, so here I was trying to get, you know, I can see I'm not even attacking the buff, so I was waiting for Wukong to get it so I can get the buff share, but Akshan just straight up takes it for himself. So yeah, I mean, he is really fed, but Akshan is a champion that is actually, in case you guys didn't know, Akshan is kind of a champion that falls off late games. So it's a little bit like a Pantheon situation where you still do a lot of damage, but you kind of get outscaled by other people. But the only thing that you have in the later part of the game is, of course, the revive. So if, you know, you get a huge revive, you know, in the later part of the game, that could literally determine the outcome of a game. Now, Baron is spawning in half a minute and Elder in a minute, so this is kind of the crunch time of the game. Lucian is still the most fed member of the game. He is 18k gold at this point, 4k gold up on me at this point, so he is super duper fed. Akshan is 7k gold up on Fizz though, so yeah, the main gold difference is kind of between these two areas. So here with the Baron up, I was trying to reset for the package, but enemy team starts walking toward me, so I'm gonna have to back off, and I can't really reset at this point because the fight is fully breaking out. Otherwise, I think that my team might lose the fight before I can get the package. So here the fight kind of disengages, so here I'm taking this opportunity to quickly get the package. I need my team to stall for time, and the conflicting thing is that Elder is now spawning, so the enemy team and my team can't decide whether to fight for Baron or Elder. You can see Akshan is actually pinging for Elder, Aatrox is also pinging for Elder. They don't really want to fight, but Wukong and Leona are on the wrong side of the Baron pit. So they are kind of like, either they're trying to start a fight or they're getting caught out. Either which way is my team not really connected. Here I have the package, and now my team is finally grouping up as 5 in the mid lane. I'm looking for a package angle. I see it and I go in to pin Amumu to the wall. He has to walk past the package and just dies to the package itself. Now I'm just kiting away from the enemy team and just landing my spells, Fizz and dies. I pick up a double kill. Now I'm just going for the Urgot, who's going to be the next nearest target. I'm taking a chunk of damage though, and I end up trading 1-for-1 with the Urgot, with Akshan securing the kill. Lucian does get a shutdown though, and he is still alive. Here's the main problem here. Akshan goes in for the Thresh, which is the wrong target in my opinion. Lucian is the last man standing for the enemy team, takes a chunk of damage from Akshan's ultimate, and now my team is starting up the Elder Dragon. Our jungler is of course still alive, and all we really need to do is do the Elder. However, you can see the problem, which is that Lucian does way too much damage. He actually kills the Wukong, but looks like he's gonna die in return. He does die, which does revive the Wukong, so Wukong's now back on the map. So is Amumu though, and I think Amumu is gonna reach before Wukong, because Amumu actually was alive earlier. So this is a little bit dangerous. I'm just going to take a look at the Elder Dragon. You can see Amumu reaches, Wukong reaches as well. So it's now just another coin flip smite fight. Thankfully though, Amumu is building tank and doesn't actually do that much damage. She goes in with a ulti, but is able to secure the Elder Dragon. But the Akshan is able to kind of kill them all. Thresh and Urgot are the only ones alive with the Elder Dragon. Urgot dies, so Thresh is the only one with the Elder Dragon. And during this entire time, I was just pushing out bot wave because honestly, I didn't think my team would need me, and they really don't. You can see that my team basically cleaned up the fight without me. So that would have been a better use of my time to get more farm and to just push out waves to ensure we have a wave to work with when we get the Baron. So here, that's exactly what we're going to do. We still have 1 minute and a half of Elder onto the Thresh. Now, I don't actually need to reset here, but because my whole team is resetting, I'm going to reset as well because I don't want to be on the map by myself and get picked off. So here I go for a Maul Reminder earlier instead of the Bloodthirster because there is a lot of healing on the enemy team. So I do want to get the healing reduction here. And now with the Baron, we're pushing down mid lane. Aatrox is taking the bot lane. Culling from Lucian is a little bit early because it doesn't really hit me or the wave. It's a little bit wasted ultimate by Lucian there, which is exactly what we need. And now Urgot and Aatrox in a 1v1. Here Akshan is moving to join the fight, and meanwhile we're just keeping pressure on the mid lane using the Baron buff. Urgot is a little bit too tanky, so I'm gonna rotate over to the fight, and we are able to pick up the kill and now go for the Tara. Meanwhile, Wukong is kind of getting caught out a little bit. Remember that Thresh still has Elder, so we do have to be cautious of that. Mumu comes in with the ulti, but no real follow-up from him. He goes down, and here I'm cautiously trying to approach the fight. Here I go in, do a bunch of damage. I'm flashing for the Fizz, and unfortunately Fizz lives on 1 HP, which is a little bit annoying. And unfortunately I'm going to run into Lucian. I have to pop the stasis to survive, and Akshan pretty much saves my life by killing the Lucian here. And we are probably going to be able to end the game here. Me and Akshan should be able to finish the game. Only Fizz is left alive. He probably can't, he can't stop us. And mostly kills me, but we are still going to be able to get the end of the game. So I can see I'm just maintaining my distance. And he actually just dies, so we are able to end the game here. So there we have it. This is the kind of top build on Corki. Not really my favorite, but definitely works. So I'm going to leave you guys with the stats as usual. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and goodbye.